the general view, and let's welcome GD Bakshi and Maroof Raza from the Indian side, and Air Vice Marshal Abid Rao and General Rashid Qureshi, former spokesperson to General Musharraf. My first question is to you. The general view now, and I'm sure you've been tracking Obama's visit to India, is that we have been able to successfully exit Pakistan out of the entire equation. There's no Pakistan. There's no Kashmir issue. The only issues which come forth are the presence of the Jaish-e-Mohammed, the Haqqani network, the D Company, and the Lashkar-e-Taiba. So we've been able to successfully exit Pakistan out of the equation. In a way, General Qureshi, just to make the point even clearer, if you ask anyone today, they believe that for both the great powers, India and the United States, Pakistan is now like a necessary, unfortunate irritant that needs to be dealt with by the great powers rather than engaged. No more engagement, but you deal with a problem like a problem exists, but no more engagement with Pakistan.
Arnab, is that a question?
Yes, that's the general view here. I'm sure you agree with it. How would you deal with the changing situation?
Okay. Arnab, first of all, when you say about India and the United States, two great powers, not taking into account Pakistan in their statements that they gave,
yes,
it's very naive for you to come to a conclusion like this. When there is discussion between India and the United States, I'm sure the US would like to discuss things that are of interest to it, and India would like to discuss interests that are again shared by the United States and India. So therefore, expecting that India and US in their meetings of their heads of government will start discussing Pakistan, I think is a little far-fetched.
No, the point is, General Qureshi, you accuse me of being naive.
Here.
But may I throw it
the US and India,
what we have done
in their talks today, have achieved some sort of an understanding on a lot of issues.
Yes.
And I congratulate both countries, the US and India, for having come to a, shall we say, consensus on various issues confronting them.
Yes.
Now, as far as Pakistan is concerned, and as far as Kashmir is concerned, India has kept harping that India believes that Kashmir is a bilateral issue, something between India and Pakistan.
Yeah.
So therefore, when we look at these two heads of governments meeting, we understand and we expect India not to try to discuss Kashmir at all.
So
fine,
General
that's
Qureshi,
no problem. But the issue remains a conflict between India and Pakistan on the interpretation of UN resolutions.
General Qureshi, now 1 minute.
Issue between the two
General
countries.
Qureshi.
Now, therefore, when you try to twist it and show it as a great snub to Pakistan, I don't think that's very correct.
Right.
We understand that interests keep changing and policies keep changing.
General Qureshi,
India was aligned to the Soviet Union for a long period of time against the United States. Today, it is aligned with the United States.
Right.
So that's no issue.
Okay.
If it's in the interest of India and in the interest of the United States, we are happy.
Sir, 1 minute. Now, General Qureshi, if you finished, I'll have a 10-second intervention, and then Sheshadri Chari will respond. Your friend Maroof Raza will respond, and General Bakshi also want to respond. But I go to Sheshadri Chari first. 1 minute. By the way, I just want to say one thing, sir. I am open-minded. I am not naive. I am aware. I am not gullible. General Qureshi. Now, what has happened is, there is a mention to Pakistan. I stand corrected. Point number 41, congratulations. there is a reference to Pakistan. And the reference is in the context of terrorism and the need for Pakistan to bring the perpetrators of the 2008 Mumbai terror attack to justice. So congratulations, you made it to the joint statement, though in the unfortunate context of the Lashkar-e-Taiba, Jaish-e-Mohammed, D Company and the Haqqani network. That's the only reference to Pakistan. Sheshadri Chari now respond, I thought this would have been a huge snub to Pakistan. They must be singeing. But how will they respond to the changing reality? Sheshadri Chari to our Pakistani guests.
Arnab, I think the greatest snub to Pakistan is not by referring to Pakistan, but not even referring to Pakistan even in the all these issues. That is the snub. Pakistan doesn't figure anywhere as far as the new change geopolitical realities are concerned. And if at all there has been some consensus, as Mr. Qureshi pointed out, there is a consensus as far as US and India are concerned, and that consensus is very clearly earmarked in this, that we, that is India and United States, agreed that we need a comprehensive global strategy and approach to combat terrorism.
Yeah.
We have agreed on that. Again, there should be no distinction between terrorist groups.
Yeah.
Again, this is a reference to what even the US stand on Pakistan and good Taliban and bad Taliban is concerned.
Yeah.
And there is an agreement on this, that there should be no distinction. Third point, every country, mark these words, every country must fulfill its commitments to eliminate terrorist safe havens. What is the reference here? And bring terrorists to justice.
To Pakistan.
This is an ample proof that if Pakistan cannot read the writing on the wall, even after this, of course, after Peshawar, they refused to read the writing on the wall. After the US told them that no monkey business when I am in this part of the world.
Yeah.
They didn't listen to that, and there has been a firing across the border even today morning.
Unfortunate.
And even after this statement, if they are not prepared to see the writing on the wall, either there must be totally illiterate about the diplomatic language that is being used between two countries, or they don't want to pull up the socks and really fight terrorism the way it should be fought.
Repeatedly slammed Abid Rao. Obama visit statements, bilaterals, slammed by John Kerry, slammed by Obama. Clear references, only one mention in the context of terror. And India and the US undertaking efforts to have a defining counter-terrorism relationship. The target country of all of this, though you haven't been explicitly stated, the target country is only one country, Pakistan, Abid Rao. This is a changing reality, you must accept. And as the great powers work closer together on nuclear issues, on military issues, on economic issues, you will have to bite the reality now, won't you, Abid Rao? How will you shift your positions?
Yes, Arnab, I am really amazed at the pleasure all my Indian worthy guests are enjoying on snubbing Pakistan.
No pleasure.
The good things that have happened between...
no pleasure.
No, okay, let me take it. I mean, why are you using the word snub? If Obama and Mr. Modi have not used the word Pakistan, Pakistan knows what is new that has come up today. The nuclear civil, agreement was already on the line since President Bush, leave alone the 2 tenures of Mr. Obama. The stated policy of all countries is to curb terrorism, not to support it.
No. These references are to Pakistan.
Please,
you run the Haqqani
network. The Kashmir issue in American stated foreign policy is a nuclear flashpoint. So if they have not talked about it today, it doesn't matter.
Work. Nuclear blackmail won't work anymore.
You should have...
No, nuclear blackmail won't work.
It is still there.
Sir, the nuclear blackmail... No, but the blackmail won't work.
You should...
The nuclear blackmail won't work.
You're getting a permanent seat in the UN is still far away.
Sir,
Let me say in an Indian saying, Hanuz Dilli Durast.
Sir,
Pakistan has its own diplomatic influence. India is a defaulter of UN resolutions. So let's say there is still a lot more to cover. And you should have your Republic Day tomorrow. We will wish you good for that. It's annually, it's a good day to celebrate, show your military prowess. But don't draw wrong conclusions or wrong expectations from Mr. Obama. Pakistan's concerns have been conveyed to him by John Kerry. and we are not looking at the way.
And you know what Kerry told you.
Like India,
you know what Kerry told you.
Small.
You know what Kerry told you. Kerry told you, and I quote, and I now want to go to Maroof and Gen Bakshi and Sheshadri Chari to open up the debate. Feel free, it's an open debate. You know what Kerry told you? Kerry told you, and I quote, terror groups like the Pakistani Taliban, the Haqqani network, the Lashkar-e-Taiba and other groups continue to pose a threat to Pakistan, to its neighbors, that is India, and to the United States. That's what Kerry told you. He slammed you. He gave it back to you. He repeatedly, the whole world is telling you this. Your game is up, sir. Your nuclear blackmail is over.
But the part B was to tell
Your
India to behave on the LOC.
GD Bakshi, Maroof. GD Bakshi and then Maroof. Yeah.
Arnab, may I with respect to
Gen Bakshi, let Maroof come in first. Gen Bakshi, let Maroof come in first.
Gen Bakshi, sir, please, if you allow me. 3 or 4 quick points to Pakistani guests. They keep bringing up the UN resolutions and the fact that India is a defaulter on that. I don't know which resolution you're talking about. The one that is handed down to you by ISI is ISPR, or the one which is on the internet. If it's in the internet, let's go public. You implement your part of the deal, we'll implement our part of the deal. Para 2, para 3 of the resolution.
So you agree to that?
Let me get back to the second point.
We will do that.
Sir,
agree to that.
Sir.
Very good.
Sir, hear me
You
out,
have finally agreed.
Second point, General Qureshi. No, I am not saying the UN resolution doesn't exist, but please read it. Part 1 says ceasefire, part 2 says your withdrawal, part 3 says our plebiscite.
Don't say no
you
Kashmir
don't withdraw,
issue,
we
no,
can't
nothing
do the
like that.
Okay, so let's not get into that, sir. There is enough on the internet. Let the viewer be unbiased and view it on the internet. Third point, I want to make, and General Qureshi is having
Please advise your Prime Minister.
But let me remind the General. General sir, let me remind you, you were staff officer to Musharraf.
Yes,
2 things happened in Musharraf's time.
Yeah.
One is he tried to alter the lay of the LOC by the Kargil intrusions. And when the Pakistanis went to the US, Bill Clinton rapped you on the knuckles on the 4th of July, 1999 to say, respect the sanctity of the LOC. The second point which I want to remind you, and which Musharraf admitted to me in an interview, and it's there in the public domain, that Armitage, the US Assistant Secretary of State, threatened you that if you don't fall in line with America's plans, you will be bombed to Stone Age.
Yeah.
I think we are coming to that stage,
and then,
sir,
Rashid Qureshi,
when America's patience is running out because Obama is a cool, calculated man. He is not going to take this Pakistan fudging on fighting terror. What should be of concern to you is that you are figuring only in joint statements as a heaven and a sponsorer of terror groups which the world doesn't take kindly to. So please accept that fact. You have now moved into very dubious lines as far as the United States is concerned, and it still is a very powerful country, the most powerful operator in Asia, good enough to alter the equation in Asia. So don't sir. Don't for a moment think you're going to get away with the Kerry kind of wink and smile policy that you've been living with.
No,
Things are going to change very rapidly in the next year or two.
Maroof, I think our Pakistani guests are getting touchy about the use of the word snub. I don't want to use the word snub, but I have to. After all, on the one side, 2 great powers, India and the US, India, a very responsible nuclear power, strike an agreement.
Oh, yes.
Pakistan, a dubious,
I am really taking pleasure in hearing India,
record.
a great power.
Pakistan,
please behave like one.
Sir, Pakistan,
when you want to look big, please act big.
Sir, you know your actions are so dubious that a man called Abdul Qadir Khan smuggled nuclear technology in a clandestine way with the approval of the ISI to other rogue nations. One rogue nations to other rogue nations.
All countries have smuggled nuclear technology,
that's the reality
including
of
America.
Pakistan.
All countries.
That's why your nuclear
England has smuggled, China has smuggled. And I'm sure India has also done.
See, this is the way irresponsible rogue nations speak, sir. Not responsible countries. GD Bakshi is responding to you now.
Don't equate us with you, sir. This is the parity that you wish to achieve. Don't equate us.
And then one more point to the Pakistani former defense officers. One point, and then I rest my case.
Every state uses every method to strengthen itself.
So
Pakistan was well within its rights.
Okay, GD Bakshi wants to come in before that. GD Bakshi. General Bakshi.
You know, Arnab, 4 of us sitting on this panel are former soldiers.
Yeah.
And soldiers are realists. I would like to tell my Pakistani interlocutors that patterns tend to persist and repeat themselves cyclically. Take your minds back to 1989 when the Soviet Union withdrew from Afghanistan. The Americans dumped Pakistan absolutely unceremoniously, and some very pejorative terms like used rubber, etc. were used. I don't want to repeat them. I would like to state that for the last decade or so, America has been held hostage virtually by Pakistan because the entire American supplies were being routed through the choke point of the port of Karachi and through the passes via the
But
Khyber
that's over
and,
now.
of course, the Bolan, through Quetta and through this thing. I'm afraid that situation has now changed. And as realists, I would like to tell our Pakistani interlocutors that you should be prepared for more of the same. Because America, I think, has had its patience tested. While claiming to be their ally, the Pakistanis supplied, ammonium nitrate for IEDs, ammunition and explosives to the Taliban, to Mullah Omar's group, to the Haqqani brothers, to the Hekmatyar group, to attack American and NATO soldiers. They ripped America off $20 billion and kept Osama bin Laden in a safe house in Abbottabad for 6 years. I think it is payback time now.
Yeah, so may I before I go back to Sheshadri Chari, I have a simple question for General Rashid Qureshi. General Rashid Qureshi, I don't want to keep making the point. I'm asking you, just see what Obama said today, for example. I'm asking you repeatedly, what are you going to do? A, you're bankrupt. B, you need the American money. C, the Americans are pulling out, the strategic hold on them that you had is gone. India and America are working very closely together in the region. India's relationship with all its neighbors is also much better. But most importantly, I invite your attention, General Rashid Qureshi, to what Obama said. And he says, and I think this is the context of Afghanistan, which is a touchy subject for you. We see a very great role for India, he says, in ensuring security and peace and maintaining global challenges. I thank the Prime Minister Narednra Modi, says Obama, for India's strong counterterrorism cooperation, and reiterated, even as America's combat mission is over in Afghanistan, that we are going to be strong and reliable partners to the Afghan people who have benefited from India's very generous assistance over many years. I think, General Qureshi, this is a very strong endorsement from America for India's stronger, more continued, more robust, more financially involved, more militarily involved participation in Afghanistan. I'm sure you see the writing on the wall, General Qureshi. And we are going to get into Afghanistan, you know that. In terms of helping the Afghan people.
First of all, before I answer what you've asked or comment on that, General Bakshi made a few points, and I'd just like to refer to that.
Yeah.
One of which was, when he started talking, he said that after the Soviets were driven out of Afghanistan, the United States turned its back on Pakistan and dropped Pakistan as a friend or as an ally. I would like you to remember this. And today, the United States has interests that seem to coincide with Indian interests.
But
tomorrow,
we are
it may not have the same interests.
We're not a banana republic.
So therefore, while you keep gloating over how friendly you've got to the United States and how the US and India are two great powers coming together, please remember that 9 years or 10 years from now,
but we
there
don't
is a
live off American dollars like
that the United States will do the same with you.
Yeah, but we don't live off American money like you. That's a big difference. We don't live off American pennies.
We don't need American money also.
We don't live off American pennies, sir.
What America was doing for Pakistan was that the money spent on using Pakistan's infrastructure was being paid back. So it wasn't giving a dole out to Pakistan.
Responses, please.
It was using the infrastructure that
we all know. Gen Bakshi,
had,
respond, and
the
then Sheshadri
roads
Chari.
and or various
General
means,
Bakshi.
and they were paying them back for that.
General
It was
Bakshi.
reimbursement of money that Pakistan had spent. So 2 points. Third point. Our good wishes, I repeat, I say again, the US and India have reached agreements and consensus on certain issues. I congratulate both countries.
Sir,
and I'm quite happy.
Sir, it's
and
Qureshi,
honestly, whether you believe it or not, I wish both countries,
General Qureshi,
US,
General Qureshi,
we've heard you.
The time to reply.
General Qureshi, sir, we've heard your patronizing tone. We've heard your congratulations to India. But tell me, if you don't need American money, why did your foreign minister, your finance minister go into a tizzy of happiness just before the end of the year last year to say America is sanctioning $532 million for Pakistan, and everything seemed to have gone into a state of euphoria when America and Washington was caught by surprise and it denied it, and then there was a certain element of depression in Pakistan. So if you don't need American money, why the excitement?
General Bakshi now.
America owed this money to Pakistan
Maroof,
as reimbursement of expenditure.
Maroof, can I kindly? Oh, okay.
Yes,
General Qureshi, I would like to tell you that we are not gloating. General Qureshi, as well-wishers of the people of Pakistan, we are saying that kindly change your policy of using non-state actors as a tool. The very fact of weaponizing your population erodes your status as a viable nation state. Please don't do it to yourself. The turbulence that you will spread, will sort of affect all your neighbors. What we are trying to tell you today is, please read the writing on the wall. You've had the horrific Peshawar incident. And very frankly, all of us expected that after that there would be a change of heart, there would be a genuine change in the policy parameters.
No, tonight.
The pity is we have seen nothing.
Arnab,
that is why you have to be reminded.
Okay, Abid Rao.
Okay, Arnab, as far as Pakistan being a banana republic, failed state, if that pleases you, you can use that.
No, it doesn't.
But
It's
when August 47, the Congress leadership had given Pakistan a total life of 6 months, and they expected Pakistan to fall back. But by the grace of God, it survived. It will still survive. We are aware of our problems. We are aware of this terrorism menace. The government has made a rule. It is only a question of implementation. So there is nothing new that you are telling us. We are aware of this, particularly after Peshawar incident. The army is very serious. The military courts are being set up just to expedite, because our legal system has failed to deliver in time, or for whatever reason. We are aware of all this. So please, if you should rather help government of Pakistan instead of going on a belligerent path of creating problems at LOC, or using such kind of terminology of big snub, or suspending talks at secretary level, foreign minister's level, or at any other appropriate level.
Well, you see, sir, first of all, nobody likes to describe you as a banana republic. It's an unfortunate reality which no Indian heart of heart likes. How your country has evolved.
In 1947 also your leadership said it's a reality. It doesn't work that way.
Sir, but I also want to remind you. One of the reasons I want to hand over to Sheshadri Chari, who's been waiting, but just one small point. I feel somewhere, and my question is to the people of Pakistan, I feel somewhere today many hearts are burning in Rawalpindi and in Islamabad.
No.
Because, I'll tell you why. Because today this nuclear agreement which has been signed, I remember your foreign ministry was begging. You went with a begging bowl to Washington saying we are also energy deficient. We also want a nuclear deal. And
we will also get it. Arnab, we went nuclear because India went nuclear. Lots of things have been India specific.
You won't know
good or bad. If you wish that people in Islamabad are having burning hearts,
sir,
well, I can only pray for you.
Sir, no responsible. It's like saying that Osama bin Laden will do a joint venture to manufacture cement. No responsible country will get into a nuclear deal with you. Sheshadri Chari. Sheshadri Chari, please. Sheshadri Chari. Sheshadri Chari. No, Sheshadri Chari.
I mean, Arnab, I would request General Qureshi and Abid Rao, look, if you really want to compete with us, you compete with us on certain democratic rights. You compete with us on democracy. You increase your democracy. You increase your civil institutions. You increase the strength of your judiciary. You give more freedom to your media.
I agree with you.
These are
I will
all
not
certain
confront
things.
this point.
These are all
should be healthy competition.
These are all certain.
But you have been going heavy on your conventional weapons.
Not only that.
Pakistan,
not only that, Abid Rao.
Pakistan had to do that.
Sir, Abid Rao, sir, please listen. I mean, you can even go a step further. Let us forget what we do with America. You can give us MFN status, which you have not been able to give for the last 40 years. There are certain issues, and when you want to go back to 1947, you quoted what the then Congress said about Pakistan. And I think if the Congress gave you 6 months time, it was not without any reason. Because I'll tell you, I'm going to read out this statement, which was made by Colonel Elahi Baksh on August 1st, 1948. He was the doctor to Quaid-e-Azam, Mr. Muhammad Ali Jinnah. And he says, and this statement was made in Ziyarat near Quetta. The statement I am reading out, it is reported. The statement is, I have made it, means Pakistan. But I am convinced that I have committed the greatest blunder of my life. This was Muhammad Ali Jinnah. I have committed the greatest blunder of my life. I think the present dispensation in Pakistan is trying to reverse that blunder. And don't be surprised if the American strategic initiative puts in place a mechanism whereby they really implement what one of your former prime ministers, Mrs. Benazir Bhutto, said. She said, Charo Subon ki Zanzir, Benazir. Pakistan is not one country, it is Char Suba. And one of the Suba, which is very close to the sea in Gwadar, is already in turmoil. Karachi is also in turmoil. A day is not far off when the Americans will have a direct route from Gwadar to Afghanistan, and they will not require Pakistan at all. And that is the time when you could pat yourself on the back as far as the American help was to you after the Soviets came in was concerned. Americans created, they helped, they wanted you to create Taliban, and they have left that Frankenstein monster for you to nourish. And today your army, the biggest enemy of your army and the civilian government is not India or America, but Tehreek-e-Taliban. You are fighting Tehreek-e-Taliban. And in spite of this, if you cannot catch the hand of friendship that India is putting towards you, I think you have to be more careful in dealing with these people which you have nourished. So we are not happy. We are not very happy. If you don't like the word snub, another word could be a slap on your face. You keep on turning one cheek from the other. How many more slaps you want to take before you disintegrate your own country?
The question is, we are already aware of that, and we are trying to correct that. It is not a question of ignoring it, or we are not in a denial anymore. We are looking at it as a threat to our state. We are aware of the problem in different provinces, but all nations go through it. India has a problem in so many states, but we have never raised those issues. I mean, you are dealing with that in a democratic way. We are doing it another way. So, is India a paradise? I mean, I'm glad to hear that you are comparing yourself with a great country like America.
So
fine, you have the right to do that.
What we are saying today is that you had a bargaining power. I admit, when the world was interested, but your bargaining power, even Rashid Qureshi knows, has gone away. And all you are left with is a huge trust deficit.
So we'll find another way. We will find another way.
You think nuclear blackmail is the way?
As an honorable nation.
Sir, nuclear blackmail is not the way. You know that's not the way.
There is no other blackmailing you.
Nobody is resorting
it has held you so many times
nuclear blackmail.
That is the good.
Sir, nuclear blackmail, the world will reject you now.
Arnab, can I?
No, we are not using blackmail at all. No.
Arnab.
It is for our defense.
Sir, the only way to remain relevant is by growing your democracy.
Air Marshal Abid Rao.
Absolutely.
Can I ask you a straightforward question as one soldier to another? Will you try the 2611 people by a military court? When will you do it?